"You are not my real parents," I shouted. My mother covered her mouth and began to cry. My father stood near the table with an old paper in his hand. But to understand why I said those painful words, I must go back 3 days. My name is Michael, and I was 34 years old. I lived with my parents, David and Helen. They raised me from a very young age. I never questioned our family. David taught me how to ride a bike. Helen stayed beside me when I was sick. We ate dinner together every evening. I believed our family was simple and strong. Then I applied for a new job. It seemed like a normal step in my life. I did not know one missing paper would change everything. The job was important to me. It offered better pay and a good future. Mr. Bennett, the company manager, called me after my second meeting. "We want to give you the job," he said. I smiled at once. Then he gave me a short list of papers. I needed my school records and an original birth paper. "Please bring them by Friday," he said. I thanked him and went home feeling proud. David and Helen were sitting in the living room. I told them the good news. Helen hugged me, and David smiled. Then I mentioned the birth paper. Their faces changed for 1 second. Helen looked at David. David looked down at his hands. I noticed the silence, but I did not understand it yet. "Do you know where my birth paper is?" I asked. David answered too quickly. "Maybe it is in the old box upstairs." Helen stood up and walked toward the kitchen. She did not look at me. I followed David upstairs. We opened 2 boxes together. He moved slowly and checked many papers. After 10 minutes, he said, "I cannot find it tonight." I laughed and said, "It must be somewhere." But David did not laugh. His hands were shaking a little. I asked if he felt well. He said he was only tired. That night, I heard my parents talking behind their bedroom door. Their voices were low. I could not hear every word, but I clearly heard Helen say, "We cannot hide it now." I stopped outside the door. The next morning, nobody spoke about the paper. Helen made breakfast, but she forgot my coffee. David read the same newspaper page for a long time. I tried to act normal. "I only have 2 days," I said. "The company needs the original paper." David folded the newspaper. "Maybe you can ask for more time." His answer made me angry. "Why do I need more time?" I asked. "It is only a birth paper." Helen dropped a spoon into the sink. The sound filled the quiet room. She turned toward me. Her eyes looked tired and afraid. "Michael, some things are hard to explain," she said. I stared at her. "What things?" I asked. David stood up and said we should talk later. That answer only made my question stronger. I went to work that day, but I could not focus. I kept thinking about their faces. Why did a simple paper make them afraid? At lunch, I called Helen. She did not answer. Then I called David. He said he was busy. His voice sounded weak. I began to feel worried. Maybe the paper showed a mistake. Maybe my name was written wrong. I tried to find a simple reason, but the words from the bedroom returned to me. We cannot hide it now. When I came home, the house was very quiet. Helen sat near the window. David stood beside an old wooden cabinet. On the table was a small brown envelope. It looked old and dry. My name was written across the front. David placed his hand over it. "Before you open this," he said, "you must let us explain." I sat across from them. My heart was beating fast. "Explain what?" I asked. Helen reached for my hand, but I moved it away. David took a long breath. "We should tell you first," he said. "The papers may hurt you." I looked at the envelope again. Why would my own birth paper hurt me? Neither of them answered. I felt heat rise in my face. "Give it to me," I said. David did not move. Helen began to cry quietly. That scared me more than anything else. "Please," she said, "remember that we love you." I stood up. "Why are you saying that?" I asked. David finally pushed the envelope toward me. His fingers stayed on it for one last second. Then he let go. I opened it, still hoping for a simple answer. Inside were 3 old papers. The first paper came from a small care home. The second came from a hospital. The third had my name and a date. I read every line twice. I saw the words, "Child placed with new family." I saw David and Helen's names below it. I did not see the names of my birth parents. That space was empty. I looked up at them. "What is this?" I asked. David opened his mouth, but no words came out. Helen whispered, "You came to us when you were 10 months old." I looked at the papers again. My hands felt cold. "Came to you?" I asked. Helen nodded through her tears. "Michael, we adopted you." The room became silent. I could hear the clock on the wall. Then one question filled my mind. "How long did you plan to keep this from me?" I asked. David said my name softly. I raised my voice. "All my life?" Helen stood up, but I stepped back. "Every birthday, every school day, every family dinner," I said. "You knew, and I did not." David looked at the floor. "Yes," he said. That one word hurt me more than the papers. I walked around the room because I could not sit still. I looked at their faces and saw people I loved. But I also saw 2 people who kept a huge truth from me. "Who are my real parents?" I asked. Helen cried harder. David pointed to the papers. "We do not know," he said. I searched every page again. There was no name, no address, and no message waiting for me. I felt angry and lost. "You are not my real parents," I shouted. Helen covered her mouth. David stood very still. His eyes filled with tears, but he did not look away. "We are sorry," he said. "Sorry?" I asked. "You let me believe a lie for 34 years?" Helen tried to speak. I stopped her. "Did you think I was too weak?" David shook his head. "No, we were weak." I did not understand. "You decided my whole life for me," I said. "You took away my choice." Helen sat down because her legs seemed weak. She looked smaller than before. I wanted to leave the room. I wanted them to feel my pain. Then David said something that stopped me near the door. "We were afraid you would stop loving us." I turned back. "So you lied because you were afraid?" I asked. David nodded. "Yes. It was wrong." Helen looked at me. "We wanted to tell you many times," she said. "On your 10th birthday, I prepared the papers." David continued, "But you called us the best parents in the world." Helen wiped her face. "I became afraid. I thought the truth might take you away." I felt angry again. I was a child then. What about when I became an adult? David closed his eyes. "Every year telling you became harder." I hit the table with my hand. "And now a job paper tells me instead?" Neither answered. The old envelope lay between us. It held only a few pages. But those pages changed every memory in my mind. I left the house and sat outside in my car. I did not drive anywhere. I only stared through the front window. I thought about searching for my birth parents. The idea came quickly. Maybe someone was waiting for me. Maybe someone knew why they left me. But I had no name to search. I only had an empty line on a paper. Then other memories came to me. David holding my bicycle when I first rode alone. Helen sleeping beside my bed during a high fever. David working extra hours for my school. Helen saving my childhood drawings. Those memories were still true. The papers did not remove them. But the pain was also true. I stayed in the car for almost an hour. Then I saw Helen standing behind the living room window.
waiting for me.
I went back inside, but I did not sit near them. David gave me the original paper. "You need this for the job," he said. "You can keep every paper." I looked at him. "Why did you choose me?" I asked. Helen took a small step forward. "We waited a long time for a child," she said. "The first time I held you, you held my finger." David smiled sadly. "You would not let go." Helen continued. "You were not a stranger to us. You were our son." I asked, "Did you ever think I was less because I was adopted?" David answered at once, "Never." Helen shook her head. "Not for one day." Their answer came without fear or delay. For the first time since opening the envelope, I saw more than the secret. "I still feel angry," I said. David nodded. "You have the right to feel angry." Helen did not ask me to forgive her. She only said, "We will answer every question." I looked at the blank space where my birth parents' names should be. I thought about searching again, but the idea felt empty. A name could tell me where I came from. It could not change who stayed beside me. I placed the papers on the table. "I may need time," I said. Helen answered, "Take all the time you need." David looked down. "We will understand if you want space." I saw the fear in both faces. They truly believed I might leave them. At that moment, I understood that their secret came from fear. It did not come from a lack of love. I walked toward them slowly. Helen began to cry again. David tried to stay calm, but his face shook. I looked at both of them. "What you did was wrong," I said. "You should have told me." David nodded. "We know." I continued, "But you are still my parents." Helen covered her face. I pulled her into my arms. Then I hugged David too. We stood together for a long time. I decided not to search for my birth parents. I did not hate them, but I did not need another family. The people in my arms raised me, protected me, and loved me every day. Blood can show where a life begins, but love, care, and daily presence show who our true parents are.